here's the thing. The companies that have been touting AI and chips are what? The Mag 7. And what's the majority of the market movement over the last 3 years? Them. So if this is like, it's not going to be as big, the AI bubble bursts, overvaluation, and the Mag 7 drop, and Bitcoin drops, you might see Santa might stay up at the North Pole. I mean, as cold as it is, I wouldn't freaking go anywhere. This could get really ugly over the next few weeks, month. So there's a lot in play. And when there's a lot in play, I don't trade a lot of options. I trade, but I'm really specific about what I trade, right? I don't lean into one side. That's why in the month of November, we had like, what, an 85% win rate in November? October, we were killing it. September, we killed it. I mean, we've been just crushing it because I'm not loading the boat with some esoteric stocks. What I've been trading carefully and nimbly, stocks related to yields, stocks related to the US dollar, the dollar, which, like oil and energy and gold, how yields affect the Russell and trading that, the VIX and how that affects the SPY and how we've been trading that. So there are plenty of stocks to trade. I was showing this today. Someone said, well, what about this one? What about this ticker? What about that ticker? Now you guys are going to be like afraid to ask, well, what about this or that ticker? But why am I going to go search for stocks? I said this was my very first ad on Facebook in February of 2020. If you can find it, there's a picture of me with windblown hair. I was walking on the beach in Sunny Isles, across the street from my house, sunglasses on, a light aqua green, sea green kind of shirt. The wind was whipping. I was holding my phone. I was one of the first to do this, guys. You know, everyone's like walking around with their phone, doing stuff. I did this 6 years ago, okay? Now everybody's doing it. I did it first. And I said into the camera, into my phone, I said, stop trading stocks. Stop trying to pick stocks. That's right, Ride the Pony. You were there. I said, stop it already. What are you doing? You're trying to make decision on what a stock is going to do, but you don't even bother checking what the rest of the market is up to. So market weather. Yeah, it's all about the weather. You wouldn't make plans to go skiing this weekend unless you check the snow report, KT, right? I bet wherever you're going skiing, you know that there is snow there, right? You're not going to just go there and, right? You're going to check the ski report. Well, when you live in Florida, you check the rain. If you live in the Northeast or the Northwest and you like to go camping, you want to go take your family on a trip, you got tents and big ass trailer or an RV and all that stuff, and you got to rent the campsite. You're not going to go through all of that unless you check the weather first, right? You got to check it. Wind, of course. So I use that analogy with stocks and have been teaching people for 6 years how to read the market weather. And then instead of having a stock where you go, how's the stock? I ask myself, well, how's the weather? And I look at market internals to help me figure that out. Then the market internals send me or give me some kind of a narrative that sends me over to a sector or maybe a stock. And then I will look at the stock. You see how this led me here? But then when I look at the stock, I have to look at it objectively to see if there is a technical setup on the stock. Is it breaking support? Is it breaking out? Is it in a squeeze? Does it have stacked moving averages, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? So this is what we do. So when I have been looking at it over the last couple of years, I've been noticing that the 10-year, the longer end of the yield curve, bond market, is really a significant piece. And the main reason why yields are something I look at all the time is because yields are hooked to inflation. And ever since the prior administration took inflation up to 9%, and then this one took it down and whatever, back and forth, inflation has been the main conversation. So maybe it's more fair to say that inflation really got out of control because of COVID. Okay. And because of stimulus that got shut. First we shut everything down, and then we flood the market with trillions of dollars of stimulus. Duh, inflation's coming. Regardless of the reason, yields are a huge indicator of the temperature of inflation. So as we've had this inflation narrative over the last 5 years, 4 years, maybe three, let's just call it, let's call it about 3 years or so. We've been looking at yields. The other thing that's affected really strongly by the jobs market and inflation and the fear of recession is how the Fed deals with the dollar. How are they managing the dollar? Not very well, I would say. They've been manipulating the dollar quite a bit. And when that happens, it throws our markets into a funk. So very important to be watching the dollar and see what it's doing, because it has, its effects. And then you've got this, AI bubble kind of insanity that has been happening. And so that has taken the tech market and the chip market and blown it up into this unbelievable, overvalued, booble, crazy valuations and movements that have been driving the stock market higher. So what I use to peg all of this to keep it in check is I watch the VIX. Because when investors get a little fearful that maybe some of the air is going to come out of this bubble, you know what they do? They buy the VIX to hedge. So wouldn't it make sense to really track the VIX and see what investors are thinking? And that would lead me to short NVIDIA, long NVIDIA, buy the SPY, buy the Qs, and all that, right? That makes sense, right?
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comments section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.